In a small town in India lived a teacher named Aro. He was known for teaching life's greatest lessons not through textbooks but through simple experiments and stories. One morning, he visited a local school carrying a large empty glass jar in his hands. The moment he entered the classroom, every curious eye turned toward him. Without saying a word, Aro placed the empty jar on the table. The children leaned forward curiously. Then he opened his bag and took out several large stones, each roughly the size of his fist. The students looked at one another, wondering what their unusual lesson was going to be. Aro began placing the large stones into the jar, one by one. Soon, no more stones could fit inside. He looked at the children and asked, "Is this jar full?" The students looked at the tightly packed stones and confidently answered, "Yes, sir, it is full." Aro simply smiled. From beneath the table, Aro pulled out a small bag filled with pebbles. He slowly poured them into the jar and gently shook it. The tiny pebbles rolled down and settled into the empty spaces between the large stones. The children's confident expressions quickly turned into surprise. The jar had not been as full as they thought. Aro looked at the class again. "Now, is the jar full?" This time, the children hesitated. Some of them smiled. They had begun to understand that their teacher probably had another surprise waiting for them. Aro reached into his bag and pulled out a small bag of sand. He slowly poured the sand into the jar. Thousands of tiny grains slipped through the spaces between the stones and pebbles, filling even the smallest gaps. Aro looked at the students once again. "Surely, it must be full now." The children laughed. "Maybe not, sir." They had learned not to answer too quickly. Aro smiled and picked up a small jug of water. He slowly poured the water into the jar. The water disappeared into the sand until the jar could hold no more. Only then did Aro put the jug down. "Now," he said, "the jar is truly full." The classroom became completely silent. The real lesson was about to begin. Aro pointed toward the jar. "Imagine that this jar represents your life." He touched one of the large stones. "These big stones represent the thing without which your life would never feel complete. Your family, your health, the people you love, your dreams, and your purpose. Even if many other things disappear, these could still give your life meaning." Then Aro pointed toward the smaller pebbles. "These represent the things that matter, but are not the foundation of your life. Your career, your money, your house, your car, and your possessions all have their place, but they should never become more important than your big stones." Aro pointed toward the sand. "The sand represents all the little things that consume our days. Small worries, unnecessary arguments, meaningless distractions, the desire to impress others, and countless little tasks that seem urgent today but may mean nothing a few years from now." The children were beginning to understand themselves. Aro picked up another empty jar. "Imagine that I filled this jar with sand first." He poured sand into it and then tried placing one of the large stones inside. There was barely any room. Would all the large stones have fitted inside? No. The children answered. Aro nodded. "Life works exactly the same way. If you spend all your time on small worries, endless distractions, unnecessary arguments, and everyday busyness, one day you may discover that there is no space left for what truly mattered. You may have completed thousands of tasks but forgotten to live. That is why you must always make room for your big stones first. Make time for your family. Protect your physical and mental well-being. Value the people who genuinely care about you, have the courage to pursue your dreams, and never become so busy making a living you forget to build a life. Put these things first, and the smaller things will find their places around them. Just as Aro was about to finish, a young girl sitting at the back raised her hand. Sir, you explained the stones, the pebbles, and the sand. But what does the water represent? Aro paused. Then a warm smile appeared on his face. The water reminds us that no matter how busy life becomes, there should always be room for small moments of happiness. Always be time for a cup of tea with an old friend, time to laugh with your family, time to sit quietly, breathe, and simply enjoy being alive. Remember, the purpose of life is not simply to fill the jar. The wisdom lies in knowing what should go into it first. Put the big stones first. Life has limited space. Choose carefully what you fill it with. Because at the end of your journey, people will not remember how busy you were or how many small tasks you completed. What will matter is whether you gave your time to the people you loved, cared for your health, followed your dreams, and made room for the things that gave your life meaning. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching.